Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hello, my friends. You're listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. It's Michelle Grosser here. Thanks for being with us today. We're going to talk about nervous system regulation like we do so often. But I'm really excited for today's episode because you're going to walk away with 4 R's. Who doesn't love some good alliteration? That's going to help you remember, I think, this framework that's really helpful when we're wanting to regulate our nervous system, when we're feeling overwhelmed or activated, dysregulated, what have you. But before we do that, I owe you all a huge thank you because this week on the podcast, we hit 500,000 downloads, you guys. 500,000. That's 500,000 of you who have hit play and been with me on this journey. And I'm so freaking grateful. I'm just so grateful. Like, it's unreal. If you had told me 2 years ago when I had this little dream of starting a podcast and had no idea what I was doing and just ordered a mic on Amazon, the cheapest mic I could find, and just sat in my spare bedroom and started just talking to what felt like myself, that if I just stayed consistent and really offered value, that you guys would come on board and be along this whole ride with me. It's just so unreal. So I'm so grateful. So thank you. And before we jump into it today, for those of you who've been along the ride with me and you've been enjoying the show and you've been learning and you've been coming back and it's been helpful for you and you haven't yet left the show a 5-star rating or a short review, if you could do so today, honestly, I know it's the holidays. It's really the best Christmas gift you could give me. I would just be so grateful. 1, because I love hearing from you, but 2, it's also the best way we get the show out in front of other women. And it's my mission that every mother would have these resources because this is generational work. This is legacy building work, right? When we are regulated and then we parent and are partners and community members and leaders from a space of regulation, holy moly, that's how we change the world. So if you haven't yet left the show a 5-star rating or a short review, and you could do so today, it takes like 6 seconds, you guys. I would be so grateful. Thank you. Okay, let's jump into the 4 R's of nervous system regulation. This is a practical framework that I think is really going to help you return to a regulated, calm state, even when you're feeling like overwhelmed or dysregulated. So I am not the creator of these 4 R's. These 4 R's, this framework was created by Deb Dana. And Deb she's like a legend in the nervous system space. She's a clinician. She's an author. She's one of like the top experts on polyvagal theory, which really explains how our nervous system responds to like threats and cues of safety and cues of danger and guiding us into all of these different states of fight or flight or freeze. And I've been learning from Deb's work for years. And I really love how she focuses on like these practical ways that we can apply polyvagal theory in everyday life. So these are her 4 R's of regulation. And they're a tool. And I love to give you guys practical handles and tools because theory is good and it's fine. But unless we're actually putting this stuff into practice, and I'm not talking about like an hour-long morning routine. I'm talking about something that works for a woman with a lot on her plate, something that works for a woman who is like constantly being asked for snacks and has to like show up at work and at home and all these different things. Like, I want to give you guys tools that you can actually use, right, to help guide you back to that regulated state after you've been experiencing stress or dysregulation. So with these 4 R's, it's going to be a really straightforward episode today. Just giving you guys some practical frameworks to help guide your body and your mind back to that balanced, resilient state. Amen. Okay, let's jump in. The 4 R's, let me talk about them really briefly, and then we'll kind of dive into each one. So here are the 4 R's to return to regulation. The first R is recognize. Recognize. Y'all hear me say it all the time. Awareness precedes choice. We cannot intervene in a world that we cannot see. So we must first always start here, becoming aware of our dysregulation, of our somatic cues of dysregulation, right? How does our body tell us we're starting to be dysregulated? And then identifying what's going on in our internal world, right? Our internal state. So that's number 1, recognize. Number 2, the second R to return to regulation is respect. Respect. And this is all about self-respect, and not in the way that we usually think about it, but respect in the sense of actually honoring and listening to our nervous system's responses, right? The things that are going on in our body without judging them, honoring them with compassion, right? Actually slowing down enough to say, hey, Michelle, right? Hey, self, you matter. Let me get curious about what's going on with, this anger that you're feeling, this hot rage that you're feeling right now. Let me figure out and get curious about why you've been, clenching your jaw for the last 6 weeks and waking up with headaches, or why you have that pain in your neck, so much tension in your shoulders, right? Or why you've been having these gut issues lately, or why you've been experiencing this anxiety or ruminating or whatever it is, right? Honoring it because it's there and it's real and it deserves to be respected. Number 3. The third R to return to regulation is to regulate. And what does that mean? That means that we use the tools and the practices that we have. These are the things that I teach you guys every week. We use these tools and these regulation practices to help us move back toward a regulated state, to help shift the state of our nervous system. So first we become aware, right? Recognize. Then we honor what's going on in our body. We respect it. And then third, we use the tools that we have to regulate. And then finally, the last R to return to regulation is to restore. Restore. What does this mean? That means that we can now, on the back end, once we're regulated, we can shift the narrative of what happened, what we experienced, what we said or did or didn't say or didn't do. We can shift the narrative of that to create this new perspective, this new understanding around the experience. And that's where we grow, you guys. That's where we start to rewire our neural pathways and start to show up differently, right? Now, each of these R's serves a unique purpose, right? You can see how they build one on the other and why they're so important. They help us move through stress with awareness, and then compassion, and then the practical tools that I love so much, and then taking a moment to reflect and grow and learn from what's going on, right? So I think these 4 R's are really going to offer us all this compassionate, actionable way to really address and then shift out of our dysregulated states, making it so much easier for us to access all the good stuff, all the juicy goodness that we want to experience more, right? Peace, calmness, resilience, growing our capacity, all of these awesome things. Okay, so let's just take a second. Let's kind of go through each one of them in a little more detail. And here's what I want to give you guys. So within each of the 4 R's, we're going to talk about its purpose. I'm going to talk to you guys about how it works, like the science behind it, right? What's going on in the neuroscience? What's going on in your physiology? Like why and how does this work? For someone like me, that's really important. If you're like, yeah, that's the boring part, don't worry, it won't take me too long. But I love to understand how and why this stuff works, because it's not woo, right? It's not just like positive thoughts. Like there's so much science behind this. Deb Dana is a scientist first and foremost, right? Before she's a clinician. So there's so much science behind this. And then we'll talk about why it's effective. And then I'll give you guys like a handle and a practical takeaway for each of the 4 R's that you can start to put into practice and using today. All right, let's jump in. The first one, recognize. So what is the purpose of recognizing? Well, recognizing is noticing, right? And we talked about it already. Awareness precedes choice. We can't do anything about our dysregulation if we don't even know we're dysregulated, right? I can't do anything about my hot temper if I don't even notice when I'm about to snap at my kids. I can't do anything about that like exhaustion that I'm feeling all day, every day, no matter how much I sleep, unless I'm aware that like, oh, red flag, this is not normal, right? This is not okay. It might be common, but I don't actually have to live like this. Something's going on here, right? But I can't do anything about it until I notice it. Seems really obvious, but you would be shocked by how many things, probably for yourself also, but that I see people doing day in or day out, experiencing day in and day out, and they're not even aware of it, right? There's so much that we've just been feeling for so long, or not feeling for so long, or doing for so long that it's just become habitual, where when we start to like take off of those glasses we've been wearing for so long and put on a new pair of lenses, we're like, oh my goodness, there's so much going on here that I need to like do something about now that I'm starting to notice it, right? So it's noticing. It's noticing when we're becoming dysregulated. It's noticing our body's signals. Our body's always communicating with us, you guys, always. When we are on that nervous system spectrum, kind of like getting toward fight or flight or freeze or fawn, there are somatic cues. There are things that happen in our physiology. This isn't just in our mind, right? So our body's always communicating with us. But here's the thing. Are we paying attention? Right? Because we live in a culture where it's like we'd rather kill the messenger than listen to the message, right? I'd rather take a couple Advil than stop and wonder why I'm carrying so much tension in my neck and shoulders and jaw, right? I'd rather, take all of this different medication than get curious about why I've started having these gut issues. I start tinkering around with like melatonin instead of really getting curious about why I'm not able to fall asleep at night, right? We don't listen to the message. We're so quick to just like mute the messenger, silence the messenger, quick fix microwave society stuff, right? But that's not you and that's not me. We're done with that and we're here to get to the root cause. So when we start to recognize what's going on in our body, how our body communicates to us, paying attention to our body and our mind, we start to build that awareness of early signs of dysregulation before we like completely just pop off, right? Before we just reach that fully overwhelmed state. So how does your body communicate with you? And when you recognize dysregulation, then you're empowered. Then you're in a position to address it rather than living in this constant state of reactivity, which sucks. Like that's not a fun place to be. I've been there. You've probably spent some time there, some seasons of life there, some days there. No one wants to be there, right? So awareness precedes choice. When we notice what's going on in our body, we can recognize dysregulation and we become empowered to address it. So where do we start? You start by checking in with your body a few times a day. Just start to notice, right? Maybe when you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, while you're eating, take 30 seconds. Oh, wow. Do a quick body scan. Man, my eyebrows have been like furrowed and my eyes are like sore from all the time I've been on the computer screen this morning. Work your way down. Wow. Yes, my tongue is pressed to the roof of my mouth. Probably some of you right now, right? Let that go. Relax it. Okay. I'm feeling so much tension in my jaw and I'm feeling tension in my neck and I feel like this heavy tightness on my shoulders. Okay, that's good. What is your breathing like now? Wow, my breathing is so shallow right now, right? It's like quick and shallow and I feel like I can't really like even catch a deep breath because I've just been running around all day. Okay, that's great, you guys. This is a simple practice that in and of itself brings regulation to your system without even doing anything else. It's so powerful just to pay attention. So a simple body scan, breath checks, right? Identify any areas of tension or agitation or activity or energy in your body. then it allows you to do something about it. And you guys, inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint, that's our group program. If you haven't heard about it yet, the next cohort starts in January. This is where we start inside the program. Week 1, step 1, all about growing your somatic awareness. I have a body scan meditation for you guys. We do it live and then I have it recorded. I have a quick one and I have a longer one. So you can do it anytime. You can do it in the morning when you first wake up. You can do it at bedtime. You can do it while you're walking, whatever would serve you best. And then I created this diagram for you guys of all of these different somatic cues that you can print out and you can put it everywhere. Like when I was learning how to do this work, you guys, I printed it out and I had it taped on like my refrigerator. I had it taped on my desk. I had it taped on my bathroom mirror, just because I wanted to start to grow an awareness of how my body was communicating with me, right? And I wasn't in that practice of slowing down and paying attention. So then I'd be like brushing my teeth and I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh yeah, my gut actually, it feels like there's a pit in my stomach today, right? Or yeah, actually I'm like getting something out of the fridge and I'm like, man, I just have this like tension in the middle of my back today. Like, I wonder what's going on there, right? Headaches, tension, gut issues, clenching your jaw. Like you can't do anything about any of this until you're aware of it. So if you want to join us inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint, you just want to know more, I guess, jump on the waitlist now. There's a link in the show notes. If you guys are on the waitlist, there's no commitment there per se, but I'm just going to send you an email and you'll have access to exclusive bonuses and savings. If you want to act early and save your spot, you'll also save some money. So I'll give you more information if you guys jump on the waitlist. Okay. The second R to nervous system regulation is respect. And I love this one so much. Respecting our nervous system, respecting your nervous system means that you're honoring and that you're accepting your body's responses without judgment. You guys, our body is wired in such a brilliant way, right? There is an intelligent design to the way that we're wired. The way that you're responding, there's a reason for that. The way that you're feeling, there's a reason for all of that. It's just that in our day and age, the way in which we live, we kind of get like stuck in this fight or flight response. But that fight or flight response is so important, you guys, right? It's important for us to be able to be kind of spurred into action when necessary in short spurts in order to protect ourselves and our children and our families, right? It's about understanding that dysregulation is actually a normal, natural response. It's just that we don't want to get stuck there, right? And that's why I'm so passionate about giving you guys tools so you don't get stuck in the high highs and you don't get stuck in the lows, but you have tools to bring yourself back to that equilibrium and that space where you feel really grounded and calm and like awesome. Now, when we respond to dysregulation with respect, this is so important. What do? Well, one, we reduce self-criticism and we create, and this is the big thing here, number 2, when we respond with respect, we actually create this internal dialogue that feels safe and compassionate. And our body will not regulate if it doesn't feel safe. So if we're feeling really activated, right? And let's say something happens, we snap at our kids or we snap at our husband. And then all of a sudden, the self-criticism starts, right? That little inner critic starts being like, man, you always do this. You're like ruining your kids. They're going to remember you as this angry mom. You're all, whatever the story is that comes up, right? Our brain cannot learn in that state. When we're in that state, that part of our brain, our prefrontal cortex, is completely shut down. It's offline. We are in survival mode, survival brain, that lizard brain that's just like reactive. And when we start to be more critical with ourselves, right, that further exacerbates this dysregulation because it doesn't feel safe, right? We're being so critical and hard on ourselves. But when we can take a step back and take a breath and be like, whoa, what's going on, right? Why did I just yell at my kids? That's not like me. Oh, I wonder what's causing me to feel so aggravated. Oh yeah, I didn't get any sleep last night because whatever, the baby was up sick all night. Or, wow, I haven't had anything to eat yet and it's 10 a.m. I'm hangry. Or wow, no one's flipping, helping me with this, and I'm really angry about it, and this is how it turned up. Or we're running late again, and now I'm losing my crap at my kids. That's what's going on, right? There's a reason why. And when we can get curious about it, that can help bring on compassion instead of criticism for ourselves, right? Curiosity breeds compassion. And then that actually makes a shift in our brain and allows us to access the parts of our brain that let us learn and grow and, apologize and ask for forgiveness and teach our kids and repair and all of these beautiful things that happen when we have access to our prefrontal cortex because our brain and our body feel safe because we're being kind to ourselves. That's it. It's actually a superpower, you guys. Respecting our body's responses, what's going on, reinforces that message that it's okay. It's okay to feel what we're feeling. And that it's a paradox, right? It paradoxically makes it easier to return to regulation. So that's the practice today, right? Encourage yourself. Literally, I'm encouraging you to encourage yourself. Replace your judgmental thoughts, right? Things like, man, I shouldn't have done that. I'm messing up my kids. I'm so angry. Like, I don't know, whatever goes through your head. Replace those with compassionate statements. Man, I'm having a real hard time right now, right? I am so tired. Wow, it feels like I have a lot on my plate because I've got a lot on my plate, right? Hey, it's okay for me to feel frustrated about this or like this is unfair or starting to feel like, whatever it is that's coming up for you guys. Self-compassionate phrases like this, gentle body contact, put a hand on your heart, right? Just showing your body some respect is going to go so much further than internal criticism. So that's the second one. Number 3, regulate. It's like pretty much what I talk about 24/7, right? When we regulate, we're actively using our body-based tools to help guide our nervous system back to a state of calm, right? Practical techniques like I teach you guys, movement, sound, breath, grounding, all of these temperature changes, all of these different things that our nervous system loves to feel safe. And when our nervous system feels safe, it can stand down, right? It doesn't have to be at high alert. It doesn't have to be ruminating or on edge or anxious, or on the other extreme, it doesn't have to be shut down. It doesn't have to be exhausted and disconnected and burnt out and dissociated and all of these different things that happen on the other end of the spectrum, right? When we regulate our nervous system, when we use these tools and these activities, help us to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, that moves our body out of a stress response and into that rest and digest mode where we really want to be living most of our life, right? Yes, there's moments where we need to be more activated, but for the most part, we want to be able to experience the up, use it for what it's for, and then come back down to that equilibrium, that baseline stress level. So you guys know I'm all about the body-based tools. That's what I talk about all the time. It's the solution you've been looking for, trust me. And it's gaining traction, and you're going to start hearing about it more and more and more. Like, we didn't really hear about mindfulness 10 years ago, right? And now you can't take 2 steps without hearing about mindfulness. That's what's happening with nervous system regulation and these somatic body-based tools. They're gaining traction. People are talking about them because they work, and you're going to hear about it more and more and more. These tools work at the root level. It's what people want, right? We don't want these Band-Aids. We don't want quick fixes. We don't want all of this different medication. Like, I want to know what's going on in my body and how I can bring calm and safety to my body naturally, right? Bring about relaxation naturally. So if you're looking for body-based tools, you've probably heard me talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but I love talking about it. And if you haven't heard and you don't have tools that you're using, body-based tools to regulate your nervous system, there's a link in the show notes for my free nervous system reset guide. Grab that. There are different somatic tools in there. And then you could also go back to episode 309. That's just a few episodes ago. And that episode is all about getting out of your head and into your body. And I give you guys different upregulating and downregulating tools in that episode. So that's a really good one to go back to if you're looking for more somatic practices. Also, inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint, our group program that's launching in January, the next cohort, I have a library in there, you guys, of all these different regulation resources and somatic practices, body-based tools. There's videos, there's audio, there's meditations for basically everything that you need. So if you're looking for energy, if you want to sleep better, if you're experiencing anxiety, if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe you're stuck in like looping or ruminating thoughts, maybe you want to channel some anger, there are practices inside of the Burnout Recovery Blueprint in this somatic library, all these different playlists for you guys there. So you can just go find what you're looking for, hit play. These are really short, and in, 2 to 10 minutes later, depending on what you choose, you're going to feel so much better. It's one of my favorite things about Burnout Recovery Blueprint and this cohort. Okay. And then the last one, number 4. Number 4 is restory, right? Restoring is all about creating this new narrative. It's all about looking at our experiences and the things that we've been through and experienced and allowing us to kind of understand that situation from a different place. Ultimately, a place of safety instead of a place of threat, right? So it's allowing us to say, move and shift from a place of like, why do these things happen to me? To man, how are these things happening for me, right? Nothing happens to us. Everything happens for us. And when we can start to reframe our life experiences from that place, from that paradigm, it's so powerful because we're able to view something that might have been really triggering or really uncomfortable or really painful or really difficult or really frustrating or what have you. And we're able to bring a new perspective to it. And that decreases that emotional charge and it makes it easier for us to stay regulated. And we also have a full module on mindset inside of the Burnout Recovery Blueprint, you guys, that's exactly on this. We go through different ways. Like I have this whole diagram with all these different topics and you just we work through this exercise where you just put the first thing that comes to mind. And it's really revealing for us in how we view the world, right? How are you viewing the things that you've experienced? And then once we have this awareness, it's like, holy moly, how do these mindsets that I have, how do these paradigms that I hold about the world, like how do those things serve me? Or do they even actually serve me anymore, right? Because once we start to realize our mindsets and our paradigms, the ways in which we've just been operating, we see that most of them are not actually helping us. They're actually holding us back in some way. They're keeping us playing small. They're sucking the living daylights out of us, right? The life out of us. And then what we do with that information is I teach you guys a powerful practice to help you start to reframe your life experiences. And when we reframe experiences, you guys, that helps shifts our brain's response to them, right? It makes the whole experience different. It makes it more positive. It makes it more empowering. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's not bypassing real life things that are hard. It's about learning how to grow our perspective around those things and seeing like, wow, there is a lesson here for me, right? While it's hard for me to see it maybe now, or especially back then, I see that there was purpose in that, right? I see that I needed to actually go through that, to experience that, to know what I know now, right? I've actually turned that into good. And when we have a practice of doing that, of restoring, it rewires our brain, especially over time, you guys. Consistent restoring rewires our brain over time, and it makes us less reactive. It grows our capacity to handle life. So maybe right now, like maybe there's something you guys are experiencing or you're going through that you're feeling really sad about or frustrated about, or it's really painful, or it's taking up a lot of like mental space. Maybe there's someone that, you've recently had a disagreement with, or your relationship's not where you would have wanted it to be. There's something going on in your parenting or in your marriage or at work or whatever it is, right? I would suggest right now to start asking yourself like, man, how have I been thinking about this? And what else might be true here, right? What's another perspective that might be true here? What's a kinder way for me to view this, right? If I took all of my like charged energy out of this, what might a passive bystander say about what's going on here that might also be true? What's another angle that I could take, right? And when we allow ourselves to shift from this like critical view to a more compassionate narrative, notice the theme here, it's so regulating for our nervous system. Okay. So with these 4 R's of regulation, it's a process, right? So I encourage you guys to start to integrate these. One builds upon the other. So you've got to start at the top. You've got to start with recognizing, growing in awareness, noticing your somatic cues, noticing your triggers, right? Noticing what happens in your body when you're starting to feel dysregulated. And then you're able to intervene, right? You greet it with compassion. That's the respect, that second R. Build awareness, compassion, and then you use your regulation tools, number 3. And then once you're finally regulated, you're able to look at it and ask yourself, how can I reframe this, right? What's the re-story? Okay. Again, let's start at the beginning. I don't want this to overwhelm you. You don't have to memorize anything here, but we're just going to start noticing your somatic cues, start greeting them with compassion, and then use your regulation tools, you guys. Start small, building a foundation, right? Noticing the difference as you become more familiar with each of these R's. Recognize, respect, regulate, and restore. Those are the steps, guys. Those are the steps to returning to presence. Those are the steps to returning to this calm, grounded state. So play around with them. Play around with this approach, an approach of compassion and kindness and curiosity toward yourself and others. If you haven't yet and you want more somatic tools, regulation tools, grab that nervous system reset guide. There's a link in the show notes. And then if you're interested in the Burnout Recovery Blueprint, joining me and other amazing women inside the January cohort, starting 2025, learning how to regulate your nervous system and heal your burnout. Guys, these are the kinds of decisions that I don't want to sound like I'm overstating it, but it will literally change your life. It will change how you feel, which changes how you think and how you show up and how you speak and how you parent and how you lead and the kind of wife and community person you are and mother and friend and daughter and all these different roles, right? It starts with a regulated nervous system. So if you're interested, you want to learn more about BRB, just put your name on the wait list. I'll shoot you an email with a brochure with more information about it, what the support looks like, what the cost is, timelines, all these different things. And then if you have any questions, you can respond to my email and I'll guide you through it. But I think it's a really, really great resource for you guys. And I also think it's an awesome way to start a new year. Okay. Thanks for being with me today. I love y'all so much. Have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you guys soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.